Boris Johnson has recruited key allies inside the EU as Britain pushes back against Brussels' plan to block vaccine exports to the UK. Boris Johnson appears to have outmaneuvered Brussels and senior EU figures, including Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel, amid a tense clash between the two sides. Mr. Johnson has recruited key member states as allies inside the EU to push back against the European Commission and Ursula von der Leyen's plan to block vaccine exports to the UK. Both Mr. Macron and Ms. Merkel have backed the EU plan, which could hit 20% of the UK's vaccine supply. However, Britain has recruited key allies in Belgium, the Netherlands and Ireland, all of whom are urging Brussels to stand down. Daily Telegraph deputy political editor Lucy Fisher told the BBC's Andrew Marr show, "We are scaling up now for a pretty tense week with the EU. This is a subject that will be discussed at the EU Council summit on Thursday. It's worth noting there isn't a consensus in the bloc over how to treat this threat of a blockade, or what the Mail on Sunday calls holding doses hostage from the UK." She continued, France and Germany appear to be backing the European Commission's president's threat. But Boris Johnson does seem to have done a good job in recruiting allies in Belgium, the Netherlands, Ireland, all of whom are much more reluctant to engage in this trade war. Earlier on Sky News, Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said any plans to deny vaccine exports to the UK would be extremely damaging for the bloc, which prides itself on open trading and following contracts. Mr. Wallace said the European Commission and Ursula von der Leyen knows the world is watching, and if the EU begins to unpick the contracts it has with third countries, it would unravel other agreements across the globe. Also in the BBC programme, Andrew Marr spoke with EU Finance Chief Mairead McGuinness, who defended the bloc's behaviour after European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen threatened to ban exports of vaccines from the continent to countries with a high vaccination rate. While Ms. McGuinness listed off how the EU is supporting the vaccine rollout internationally, Mr. Marr embarrassingly pointed out that millions of AstraZeneca vaccines sit unused in European storage. The BBC host said Europe should simply use those doses and revealed that Oxford scientist John Bell called the EU's policy crackers.